Archangel Michael says there's one warning most chosen ones are ignoring right now, and the consequences could delay their destiny for years. If this message found you today, it may not be an accident. Something strange has been happening around your life lately. Sudden pressure, emotional exhaustion, closed doors, and a feeling that something unseen is trying to distract you. But according to Archangel Michael, there's a spiritual reason behind all of it. And before this video ends, you'll discover the hidden warning heaven has been trying to show you before it's too late. So don't skip, because what you hear in the next few minutes may completely change your future. My beloved child, Archangel Michael is standing beside you right now. His sword is glowing with heavenly fire, and his voice carries urgency. He says, "Chosen one, heaven has been warning them for a long time. Listen carefully. This message did not appear in your life by coincidence. Heaven guided you here because lately something dangerous has been happening around your spirit. And if it continues, it could delay the breakthrough heaven prepared for your future." Jesus now steps forward. The atmosphere becomes calm and powerful at the same time. And softly he says, "My child, I tried to reach you many times. I sent signs. I sent feelings. I sent moments of conviction. But distractions kept pulling your attention away. My beloved, there were moments your spirit felt uneasy for no reason. Moments where you suddenly felt emotionally drained. Moments where your heart felt heavy even when nothing was outwardly wrong. That was not random. That was heaven trying to warn you." Archangel Michael raises his glowing sword. A wave of light moves across the heavens. And he says, "The enemy noticed how close they were becoming to their destiny. Listen carefully, chosen one. The closer a person gets to break through, the stronger the distractions become, the stronger the attacks become, the stronger the confusion becomes. Because darkness fears awakened souls. My beloved child, there is something important you must understand today. The enemy does not waste energy attacking people with no purpose. The pressure increased because your destiny carries value. That is why your peace has been under attack. That is why your focus became weaker lately. That is why certain negative thoughts suddenly became louder. Heaven says this was spiritual interference. Jesus now speaks again. My beloved child, you have been standing at the edge of a major shift, but fear kept making you hesitate. Listen carefully now. There are blessings waiting for you, opportunities waiting for you, restoration waiting for you. But heaven says you cannot enter the next season while remaining spiritually distracted. Archangel Michael steps forward again. His voice becomes stronger. The warning is simple. If they continue ignoring their spirit, they will delay what heaven has already prepared. My child, you already felt the signs. You already sensed something was changing. You already knew certain habits were damaging your peace. But every time heaven tried pulling you higher, distraction pulled you backward again. Jesus says softly, "My child, stop ignoring the voice inside you. Because deep inside, you already know what heaven has been trying to remove from your life. Some people, some habits, some environments, some distractions. And heaven says those things cannot follow you into your next season." Archangel Michael now points his sword toward the heavens, and suddenly the sky fills with light. He declares, "The warning phase is ending." Can you feel that intensity? Because something powerful is beginning to move around your destiny. My beloved, the next season of your life will require greater discipline, greater focus, greater spiritual awareness. Because heaven is preparing to release something that could completely change your future. Jesus steps closer, and his voice becomes deeply emotional. "My child, I do not want them to lose what I prepared for them. Listen carefully now. Many people destroy their blessings before they arrive, not because heaven abandoned them, but because they ignored the warning signs." Archangel Michael now reveals something serious. He says, there are people around them secretly draining their spiritual energy. My beloved child, not everyone around you celebrates your future. Some people carry confusion into your life. Some people feed your fear. Some people keep you emotionally exhausted, so you remain distracted from your purpose. And heaven says it is time to wake up. Jesus speaks softly again. My child, protect your spirit. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. Protect your connection with heaven. Because where you're going next, not everyone can follow. Archangel Michael lifts his sword high into the sky. A beam of heavenly light explodes outward, and he declares, "The awakening has begun." My beloved, this is only the beginning. Because in the next part, Archangel Michael is about to reveal the hidden spiritual attack that has been operating behind the scenes of your life for years. And once heaven exposes it, everything around your destiny may begin to change forever. My beloved child, stay with me carefully now, because Archangel Michael is about to expose something that has been working silently against your destiny for years. Something most people never recognize until it is too late. Archangel Michael stands before you now. His armor shines with heavenly light. His sword burns brighter than fire. And with authority in his voice, he says, "Chosen one, the greatest attack against them was never physical. It was spiritual distraction. Listen carefully, my child. The enemy did not need to destroy your life completely. They only needed to keep your spirit exhausted, distracted, confused, emotionally overwhelmed. Because a distracted soul cannot fully hear heaven, Jesus now steps closer. The atmosphere becomes calm but heavy with truth. And softly he says, "My beloved child, there were moments when your spirit tried to warn you, but the noise around you became louder than my voice. Listen carefully. Think about how many times you ignored your intuition. How many times you stayed in places your spirit felt uncomfortable. How many times you kept entertaining people who drained your peace. How many times you delayed the changes heaven was asking you to make. My beloved, that was not weakness. That was spiritual warfare." Archangel Michael raises his sword toward the heavens. Lightning flashes across the sky, and he declares, "The enemy attacks through distraction because distraction delays destiny." My child, the enemy understood something about your future that you did not fully understand yourself. They knew you carried purpose. They knew your breakthrough was approaching. They knew heaven was preparing to elevate you. So they filled your life with noise, fear, confusion, emotional heaviness, endless distractions. And slowly, your spirit became tired. Jesus speaks again. "My beloved child, heaven watched every battle you fought silently. Heaven saw the pressure you never explained to anyone. Heaven saw the nights when your mind would not rest. Heaven saw the moments you almost gave up. And my beloved, you survived all of it for a reason." Archangel Michael now points his glowing sword directly forward. His voice becomes stronger. They survived because heaven protected them even during seasons they could not understand. Listen carefully now. There were moments when things should have completely fallen apart. Moments where you were one step away from collapse. But somehow, you kept going. That was not luck. That was heaven covering your life. Jesus says softly, "My child, there are angels assigned to your destiny." Can you feel that truth in your spirit right now? Because this message is awakening something inside you. Archangel Michael says, "The attacks became stronger because their breakthrough became closer." My beloved, that explains why everything suddenly felt heavier lately. Why your peace became harder to maintain. Why your emotions felt unstable. Why distractions increased at the exact moment you started trying to grow spiritually. Because darkness fears spiritually awakened people. And heaven says your spirit has been waking up. Jesus steps forward again. His voice becomes deeply emotional. My beloved child, you were never meant to stay trapped in survival mode forever. Listen carefully. You have spent too much time surviving. Too much time carrying emotional pain. Too much time doubting your worth. Too much time waiting for peace. But heaven says a shift is beginning. Archangel Michael raises his sword again. A powerful wind moves through the heavens. And he declares, "The hidden attack is being exposed." My child, some attacks came through fear. Some came through toxic environments. Some came through people secretly carrying negativity toward your destiny. And some came through your own self-doubt. Because every time you questioned your purpose, you weakened your spiritual confidence. Jesus now speaks firmly. My child, stop speaking against the future heaven prepared for you. Listen carefully now. Words carry spiritual power. And lately, you have spoken more fear than faith, more doubt than confidence, more hopelessness than expectation. But heaven says that ends today. Archangel Michael now reveals another warning. He says, if they continue feeding negative thoughts, the delay around their breakthrough will grow heavier. My beloved child, protect your mind in this season. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every fear deserves your belief. Not every voice deserves access to your spirit, because heaven is trying to prepare you for elevation. Jesus says softly, my child, your spirit already knows you are meant for more. That restless feeling inside you, that desire for change, that feeling that your life is supposed to become something greater, that is not imagination. That is heaven calling you higher. Archangel Michael lifts his sword toward the sky one more time, and suddenly the heavens fill with radiant light. He declares, the awakening is accelerating. Can you feel something shifting? Because the old version of you is beginning to break apart. The fearful version, the distracted version, the exhausted version. And heaven says a stronger version of you is rising now. But stay with me carefully, my beloved child, because in the next part, Archangel Michael is about to reveal the hidden doorway that has been blocking your blessings and delaying your destiny. And once heaven exposes it, you may finally understand why your breakthrough has taken so long. My beloved child, do not skip this moment, because Archangel Michael is about to reveal the hidden doorway that has delayed your peace, your clarity, and your breakthrough for years. Most people never recognize this doorway, and because they never recognize it, they remain trapped in the same cycles forever. Archangel Michael now stands before a massive gate in the spiritual realm. His sword glows with intense heavenly fire, and with authority in his voice, he declares, Chosen one, the doorway blocking their blessings was built through fear, distraction, and agreement with negativity. Listen carefully, my child. The enemy could not destroy your destiny. So instead, they try to make you doubt it. They try to make you emotionally exhausted. They try to make you spiritually numb. Because once a person stops believing change is possible, they stop moving toward the future heaven prepared for them. Jesus steps forward now. His eyes are filled with compassion. And softly he says, My beloved child, many times you unknowingly opened doors to heaviness. You carried pain longer than necessary. You replayed old wounds in your mind. You allowed fear to speak louder than faith. My child, that emotional heaviness you carried for so long, it slowly became spiritual weight. And little by little, that weight blocked your peace, blocked your confidence, blocked your spiritual clarity. Archangel Michael raises his sword toward the heavens. A strong wave of light moves through the atmosphere. And he says, the doorway grows stronger every time fear becomes greater than trust. Listen carefully now. There were moments heaven asked you to move forward, but fear made you hesitate. Moments heaven told you to let go, but emotional attachment made you stay. Moments your spirit knew something was unhealthy, but loneliness made you ignore the warning. And because of that, certain delays remained active around your destiny. Jesus now speaks again. My beloved child, heaven is not revealing this to shame you. Heaven is revealing this to free you. Can you feel that truth touching your spirit right now? Because something inside you is beginning to awaken. Archangel Michael now points his sword directly toward the massive spiritual gate. And he declares, the doorway must close now. My beloved, some of the greatest battles in your life started in your mind. Fear telling you nothing would ever change. Doubt telling you you were not enough. Pain convincing you heaven forgot you. But heaven says those voices were never speaking truth. Jesus steps closer. His voice becomes stronger. My child, stop agreeing with the darkness around your future. Listen carefully. Every time you called yourself hopeless, you strengthened the heaviness. Every time you believed you would never change, you gave fear more authority. Every time you expected disappointment, you weakened your own faith. But heaven says this cycle ends today. Archangel Michael now lifts his sword high into the sky. Lightning flashes across the heavens, and he declares, "The chains around their spirit are breaking." My beloved child, the enemy wanted you emotionally tired because tired people stop believing. Tired people stop dreaming. Tired people stop expecting miracles. But heaven says your spirit is waking up again. Jesus smiles softly now. My beloved child, there is still greatness inside you. There is still purpose inside you. There is still light inside you. Listen carefully now. The reason this message feels intense is because your soul recognizes the truth. Deep inside, you already know heaven has been trying to move you into a new season. A season of clarity. A season of restoration. A season where you finally stop surviving and start becoming who heaven created you to be. Archangel Michael says, "But they cannot carry old fear into the next season." My child, some things must end here. The constant self-doubt, the emotional attachment to pain, the fear of failure, the habit of expecting the worst. Because heaven is preparing to release opportunities that require courage. Jesus now reveals something powerful. He says, there are blessings waiting for them that cannot enter a fearful spirit. Think about that carefully, my beloved. Some doors stayed closed not because heaven rejected you, but because heaven was waiting for your spirit to grow stronger. Archangel Michael now swings his sword toward the massive gate. A bright explosion of heavenly light fills the atmosphere, and suddenly, the gate begins to crack open. He declares, the blockage is weakening. Can you feel that shift happening inside you right now? Because heaven is removing spiritual heaviness from your path. The confusion is weakening. The fear is weakening. The emotional exhaustion is weakening. And soon, you will finally begin seeing your future differently. Jesus speaks softly one more time. My beloved child, the next season of your life will require faith greater than fear. Because where heaven is taking you next, you cannot think like the old version of yourself anymore. Archangel Michael lowers his glowing sword slowly, and with power in his voice, he says, the doorway is closing, and the breakthrough is getting closer. But stay with me carefully now, my beloved child, because in the next part, Archangel Michael is about to reveal the divine shift already beginning around your life. And once heaven reveals what is moving toward your future, you may finally understand why all the delays had to happen first. My beloved child, stay with me carefully now, because Archangel Michael is about to reveal something heaven has been preparing behind the scenes for a very long time. The divine shift has already started, even if you cannot fully see it yet. Even if your current situation still looks confusing, even if your emotions still feel heavy at times. Heaven says movement has already begun around your destiny. Archangel Michael now stands high above the clouds. His sword shines brighter than before. The heavens tremble with light around him, and with authority in his voice, he declares, Chosen one, the old season is ending. Listen carefully, my child. The reason your spirit no longer feels comfortable in certain places, the reason you suddenly feel disconnected from old habits, the reason certain relationships started changing, is because heaven has already started separating you from your past season. Jesus steps forward now. Peace fills the atmosphere, and softly he says, My beloved child, you cannot carry your old self into the future I prepared for you. Listen carefully. The next chapter of your life requires transformation, a stronger spirit, a clearer mind, a deeper connection with heaven, because where you're going next, you will need greater spiritual awareness. Archangel Michael raises his glowing sword toward the sky. A wave of golden light spreads across the heavens, and he says, the shift begins when heaven removes what no longer belongs in their life. My beloved, some doors had to close. Some people had to leave. Some plans had to fall apart. Because not everything connected to your old season was meant to follow you into your future. Jesus now speaks again. My child, stop grieving over things heaven removed. Because many times, what felt like rejection was actually protection. What felt like loss was actually redirection. What felt painful was actually preparation. Can you feel that truth reaching your spirit right now? Because heaven is helping you understand your journey differently. Archangel Michael says, the delays were not punishment. Listen carefully now. Heaven was preparing you, strengthening you, teaching you discernment, teaching you patience, teaching you how to survive spiritual battles without losing your faith completely. And now, the preparation season is slowly ending. Jesus steps closer. His voice becomes deeply emotional. My beloved child, heaven never forgot your prayers. Every silent prayer, every tear, every moment you begged heaven for answers, all of it was heard, even during the seasons when heaven felt silent. Archangel Michael now points his sword forward, and suddenly a bright path of light appears through the darkness. He declares, the path ahead is opening. My beloved child, things are about to move differently. Opportunities may begin appearing unexpectedly. Doors may suddenly open. Connections may enter your life at the perfect time. And blessings you thought were impossible may begin moving toward you faster than expected. But listen carefully. The divine shift also comes with a warning, because not everyone around you will understand the new version of you. Some people only felt comfortable when you lacked confidence. Some people only supported the broken version of you. Some people secretly benefited from your confusion. But heaven says you cannot remain spiritually small just to make others comfortable. Jesus now speaks firmly. My child, stop shrinking yourself. You prayed for healing. You prayed for change. You prayed for restoration. And now heaven is answering. Listen carefully now. The next season of your life will require courage. Courage to let go. Courage to grow. Courage to trust heaven even when the future feels uncertain. Archangel Michael raises his sword again. Lightning flashes across the heavens. And with power in his voice, he says, the acceleration is beginning. My beloved, for years life felt slow, delayed, heavy, like nothing was changing. But heaven says the pace is about to shift. Things that once took years may happen suddenly. Answers may come quicker. Healing may happen faster. And opportunities may appear when you least expect them. Jesus smiles softly now. My beloved child, your waiting season is ending. Can you feel hope returning? Can you feel strength returning? That is because heaven is restoring your spirit before restoring your future. Archangel Michael now reveals something important. He says, the next few choices they make are extremely important. Listen carefully. This next season will test your focus, your discipline, your spiritual awareness, because distractions will still try to pull you backward. Fear will still try to return. Old habits will still try to reconnect themselves to your life. But heaven says you are stronger now. Jesus steps closer one more time, and softly he says, my beloved child, trust the transformation. Even if you do not fully understand everything yet, even if the process feels uncomfortable, even if some things still seem uncertain, because heaven is aligning your life with your purpose. Archangel Michael lifts his glowing sword high into the heavens. A massive explosion of golden light fills the sky, and he declares, the divine shift is active now. My beloved child, this is not the end. This is the beginning of the life heaven always intended for you. But stay with me carefully, because in the final part, Archangel Michael is about to reveal the blessing already moving toward your destiny. And once you hear what heaven prepared for your next season, you may finally understand why this message found you today. My beloved child, you stayed through every warning, through every revelation, through every moment heaven tried to awaken your spirit. And now, Archangel Michael says you are ready to hear the final truth. The atmosphere in the heavens becomes silent. A powerful golden light surrounds everything. Archangel Michael stands before massive heavenly gates. His sword shines brighter than ever before, and with authority in his voice, he declares, chosen one, the blessing they prayed for is closer than they realize. Listen carefully now, because this final message may completely change the direction of your future. Jesus steps beside Archangel Michael. Peace fills the atmosphere around you, and softly he says, my beloved child, you survived every battle for a reason. You survived betrayal. You survived rejection. You survived emotional exhaustion. You survived seasons where you thought nothing would ever improve. And yet, you're still standing. Do you understand what that means? Heaven protected your life, even during the moments you thought everything was falling apart. Archangel Michael now speaks again. The enemy believed the pressure would make them quit before their breakthrough arrived. My beloved, there were moments when darkness truly thought it had won. Moments where your spirit felt completely drained. Moments where fear became stronger than hope. Moments where you almost gave up on your future entirely. But heaven says, you kept going, and because you kept going, something powerful has already started moving toward your destiny. Jesus smiles softly now. My beloved child, the season of restoration is beginning. Listen carefully. The pain was not meaningless. The delays were not pointless. The waiting season was preparing your spirit for what heaven is about to release. Archangel Michael raises his sword toward the sky. A massive beam of heavenly light explodes across the spiritual realm, and he declares, the breakthrough is approaching. Can you feel that shift in your spirit right now? Because heaven is preparing to release peace back into your life, strength back into your spirit, hope back into your future, and clarity back into your mind. My beloved child, the next season of your life will not resemble the last one. Things are changing now. Jesus steps closer. His voice becomes emotional and powerful. My child, stop believing your story ends in struggle. Heaven has prepared more for you than pain. Listen carefully now. There is a door opening ahead of you, a divine opportunity, a connection, a breakthrough, a moment that could completely redirect your future. And heaven says you must stay spiritually awake when it arrives, because distractions will still try to pull your attention away. Fear will still whisper lies into your mind. Old patterns will still attempt to reconnect themselves to your life. But Archangel Michael says, they're stronger now. My beloved, you are not the same person who started this journey. Something awakened inside you. Something stronger. Something clearer. Something spiritually alive. Jesus now reveals the final warning. My beloved child, do not return to the things heaven already tried to free you from. Do not return to constant fear. Do not return to environments that destroy your peace. Do not return to people who drain your spirit. Because heaven says your next season requires protection. Archangel Michael points his sword toward the heavenly gates. And slowly, the gates begin opening. Golden light pours outward endlessly. He declares, the path is opening before them now. Listen carefully, chosen one. What is coming toward your life may happen unexpectedly. Sudden opportunities, sudden answers, sudden restoration, sudden breakthrough. Because heaven says the waiting season is ending faster than you realize. Jesus smiles softly once more. My beloved child, this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your transformation. Can you feel peace entering your spirit right now? That is heaven confirming this message. My beloved, you were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. And even during your darkest season, heaven was still guiding your path. Archangel Michael now lifts his glowing sword high into the heavens one final time. The entire spiritual realm fills with light. And with power in his voice, he declares, their breakthrough has begun. My beloved child, years from now, you may look back at this exact moment and realize this was the day heaven finally awakened your spirit. If this message touched your soul today, type Amen in the comments right now and declare that you are ready for your next season. And don't leave without subscribing, because more messages from heaven are coming to guide you through the journey ahead. Like this video, so this warning can reach more chosen ones who need it today. And share this message with someone whose spirit has been under attack lately. Archangel Michael says, the ones who stay connected to the light will never walk alone. Stay blessed, my beloved child. And remember, heaven is still working behind the scenes for you.